Hello and welcome to Team Fortress TV. This is TurboTabs, and for the love of God, it is not a solo class. You can sigh a breath of relief. I am joined by Kaidus. Thank you, Kaidus, for joining me at this last minute, this last second.
It's my pleasure. You know, I had the big dreams of streaming tonight, but my computer had other plans, so fate was smiling down on you.
But bless your computer then, bless that graphics card of yours. But I wasn't alone. I did have DavidTheWin doing production for me, so it wasn't quite the soloist of solo casts, but still we got off lightly. Close one, team. Alright, if you're joining us, tonight is ETF2L Season 22, powered by TT... actually, no, not powered by TT Esports, powered by Saloon.tf. Excuse me. And this is the first match of the Prem pre-season qualifiers. Top 5 Rocket versus Planet Express. And I guess it's a match that nobody really see coming, because the admins just decided, hey, we're gonna do what the people want for once. It's not really an admin move, but yeah, they just thrown in Top 5 Rocket into the playoffs as well, and they're playing off against Planet Express. And whoever wins this team tonight, Kaidus, will be playing off against, I believe it's Animate. So if you win this match, it's not quite straight into Prem. So, but still, it's nice to see that Top 5 Rocket have a chance.
Yeah, I think it's fair they got a shot. I mean, I can't say I know a tremendous amount about all of these teams in the playoffs. I've played a couple of them, but like these two tonight, I haven't really seen. I mean, I watched a bit of the high final last season, so I've seen Top 5 Rocket play before, but didn't really pick up a whole lot about them. But I mean, I guess yeah, top 2 and high. If you can't, I think there was a pretty close game as well, like that final. So if you come that close, you kind of deserve your shot. But I would have, with that in mind, I would still say, based on what I do know, they're pretty low down in my estimations of like who's going to make it through these playoffs and get like, is it 3 spots? I think there's 3 spots open for Prem.
Three spots open for Prem and 1 spot left for high. I guess you could say it's 2 spots technically, with them being added in. So whoever loses this will definitely be going to high.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see how this game goes, but I have a feeling that both of these teams may find themselves in high when everything's said and done. But I mean, yeah, I don't really know so much about the teams, so I'm gonna be learning as much as everyone else tonight, I guess.
Well, let me paint you a picture, Kaidus. To sum up Top 5 Rocket, I'll go for the lineup. So we got a name to place with all the players. We've got Blitzo playing Scout, Opti also his Scout partner, Medico, believe it or not, playing Soldier, Neo playing Roaming Soldier, and that's going to get really confusing because there's another Neo in this game over on Planet Express.
Are you kidding? Where's Planet Express Neo from?
Neo, I think the Planet Express Neo is Finnish, and obviously the other Neo is from France, so yeah. It's going to get really confusing. We've also got Kaizo on Demoman and Ombrak on Medic. And what I could say about this team is, like, this is a team that was kind of like brought up through the power of friendship, if you know what I mean. There's no real big names in there. They've just kind of like, you know, when you just spend so much time playing TF2 together that you just eventually, we suddenly have a shot at Prem and we're just in there. This is how that team kind of turned out. They did have their shot last somewhat to get into it guaranteed through the high playoffs, but they just managed to just slightly scrape under the bar. But with Hello Kitty Ninjas actually going out, people said, oh, well, Top 5 deserve this spot, you know, if anything. So a lot of the community kind of just backed up behind them, saying like, oh, we demand Top 5, get this, and through a strange move, ETF2L admins have actually listened, and they've just went, okay, why not? And they've just given them a spot here. And I will paint you the quickest picture of the next team, because we have just gone live, I believe it or not. Oh, it's actually the fist fight, the heavy fist fight has officially started, because both teams, I guess, want to just decide who gets the first choice in this map elimination deciding.
I think it's to decide, don't they? The winner gets to pick who goes first, right? Like, yes. The argument is always like, do you go first or second? Because if you ban first, you show your hand. So no one wants to go first, basically. So they want to win this and then make the other team ban first.
Yes, I believe so. I don't think. Usually, you would also use a heavy fist fight to decide whether or not they're playing on blue or red, but nobody honestly cares about that. At least for Badlands, anyway. But the other team, yeah, Planet Express, you've probably heard a few team players' names in there scattered in about. They've played Prem here and there, but we've also got some newcomers. We've got Tommy on Scout, Sheepy on Scout, who you probably know quite extensively. You've got Neo on the Pocket Soldier, that's the Finnish one, keep track people, and Mookie returning from that Hilldrift team once upon a time to Roaming Soldier once again. You've got EQ on Demo Man, and you've got Scrooby, the American, playing the medic for them.
I know a little bit more about Planet Express. Obviously, Sheepy's been around the block a few times. Mookie, I played with him in some pickups and against him in like some seasons, quite a few seasons ago now, but I at least know who he is. And Scrooby, I've come across him. The rest are a mystery to me, but I guess I'm going to learn about them as it goes. So, anyway.
Yeah, whilst I was yobbering on, they actually won the heavy fist fight, Planet Express. So, yeah, they get to decide which maps they want first. Hopefully.
I think Sheepy said we pick Team B, and basically what that means is Team A bans first, so now they're going to go through the map elimination system, which is actually a revised map elimination system for ETF2L. For a while they've been using this kind of goofy system that only they really used, where both teams got 2 bans before any maps were picked, whereas kind of the conventional system used on TF2 lands and in other kind of FPS esports is each team gets 1 ban, and then each team gets 1 pick, and then they get their second ban. And that's how it is now for ETF2L, which is a much better system. So basically the system is, for the viewers, all you really need to know is both teams are going to get to ban out their worst map, and then they'll pick the first 2 maps, 1 each.
Yeah, it does avoid that situation as well, where you might end up banning a map that the other team doesn't have any intention of playing whatsoever. So it's nice to see that. Yeah,
and it can work kind of like having this this advantage of going second. It can really play into your favor because I mean, there's a lot of maps like, for example, just to throw one out, Sunshine is quite unpopular. But it's kind of like if you're going first and you don't ban it, then you kind of risk it being left in. Whereas the second team going can kind of see if that first team general will have to ban Sunshine or that kind of a map if they're unfamiliar on it, which is a pretty common place where there's one map that no one really wants to play, and someone kind of just has to get forced into being the one to ban it basically. And it's basically like a wasted ban because a lot of the time no one wants to play especially around this level, unless you have like something particular up your sleeve or it's a particular weakness of the other team. There are often these kind of like the unpopular maps. You kind of scrap over who bans that one.
Well, I know that both the teams have been doing their homework in regards to this match. They really want to play Prem this season, Kaidus, and I was kind of shocked how extensively they went into it. Just both of them kind of studying up on each other, at least especially for the side of Planet Express. But so I'm very interested to actually see these bans. Hopefully they'll actually say it out on the direct chat here, or maybe they're just using Steam. Who knows?
I'm just taking a look at the match page of the final just to see if I can learn a little bit. And Ombrak, that's top 5. Ombrak banned for his team Process. They banned Viaduct, and they picked Badlands last time and left Granary in as the decider, which they didn't get to. But I guess unless something has changed drastically for them in the off season, like Badlands. What was it? Yeah, Badlands is like their home map apparently. So I guess they'll be probably doing something kind of similar. They didn't ban Sunshine last time, so maybe that's going to give them a slight edge in the system. Because like I said, Sunshine is the map that no one ever really wants to play, unless you're one weirdo team that actually likes it.
Well, we are changing levels, so drum roll. Get to see the first map.
So exciting. What will it be in Snakewater?
Well, I guess that's with them being Team B. That means that this is Planet Express's map, correct?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think so. Yeah. So I guess if you ban first, you pick second.
Yeah, makes sense.
So I guess this is Planet Express's map. It would be nice if they gave us the veto. It would be like a cool thing for teams to do. But I guess it's a pretty big day for these guys. They don't get the spotlight that often, so they're probably pretty just focused on their goal, their mission, as it were. So I'll forgive them this time.
Yeah, Snakewater, an interesting map. I know that your opinion of it has changed as of recent, Kaidus. I felt like once upon a time you hated this map, you loathe this map, but now you're a little warming up to it. Why is that?
For me, it's just like a personal preference thing. When the sticky nerf came in, like there was things you could do on other maps as a demo, or things you could get away with, or playstyles you could employ that worked pretty good on most of the other maps, but just didn't really work so great on Snake. But then when the sticky nerf came in, It kind of stopped working on all the maps, so I began to just kind of appreciate Snakewater for the map it was, rather than the map it wasn't. But I'm still not a huge fan of it. It's okay. It's just okay for me. But yeah, I wish I knew something about the teams. I don't really know what to expect at all from this game.
Well, if you were just playing like a blank slate, what sort of things would you be worried about on this map? Would it be like the certain scouts or like soldier presence, or what's really like the classes that are really going to shine on this map, and what are the classes that are going to maybe dull slightly?
Well, the mid is pretty bland on this map. Like, it's not a mid where you can shake things up tremendously. So a lot of it comes down to kind of whose soldiers are being effective and who like kind of like finding like ways in with their bombs. Like, often the mid can just come down to like if one team's soldiers are finding ways in and not being shut down, while the other team's soldiers are being shut down. Like, the mid kind of meta can kind of just play basically around that. Like, but not always. But I mean, it's kind of difficult to do anything like fast or different as a scout, because it's just one line of sight for everyone. You can kind of see everything coming. So the soldier bombs are kind of opening everything up. So I guess there'll be a lot of kind of eyes on whoever the soldiers are on the mids.
Alright, keep the eyes on the soldiers. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and we don't entirely know. I don't think they've tipped us off to what the next map's going to be, so that's going to be another little surprise we can tuck into later. Yeah. Both teams are just waiting for them to ready up at any moment. You actually see that Neo and Neo kind of cross names so much that they had to mark one Neo as the French Neo has to be called number 1, just to kind of stop the confusion. So if you ever see number 1 Neo, that's the French one.
Yeah, one thing I would say is I would have expected top5rocket to probably have an edge here, because they're like a long-standing team and they're going to have like a bit more chemistry in team play. But Snakewater is a map where often the newer teams don't like it so much, because it's one of those maps where you're really, really heavily punished for your mistakes. Because last can be pretty tricky to push. Like, if you're getting wiped on mid and giving the other team clear cut, kind of like these rounds where you can take them in 2 minutes, you know, win mid and roll to last. If you're giving teams those kind of rounds, it can be really difficult to play. And often you'll see like the newer teams are the teams that do this, because they haven't quite got this chemistry with like, when do we back out of mids and who makes this call, and, you know, do you know which way your medic goes out of mid, so you know like to escort him out and things like this. So in a way, I would kind of expect top5rocket to have an edge, but like according to our limited information, it does seem like Planet Express picked the map. So we'll see, I guess.
Alright, on that bombshell, we have gone live. If you're just joining us, this is ETF2L Season 22, powered by Saloon.tf. This is top5rocket versus Planet Express. I'm joined by Kaidus. On the camera is DavidTheWin, and I am TurboTabs. And the first thing I'm seeing on mid, Kaidus, is both the Demoman missing their stickies. Not a tremendous amount of damage going out right now.
No.
Neo is going in for the huge bomb at first. He's first one to put his foot forwards, and he's heavily being punished. He's actually they've stocked up on that left-hand side to make sure Neo doesn't get any breathing whatsoever. Actually, a crossbow kill comes out onto Opti. That is the scout for top5rocket, and now they're just getting completely run over by the player advantage from Planet Express, and they're chasing down that medic. He's brought down so low, and Mookie with a finishing blow onto the medic. Oh, it's not good. It's not a good start.
Is that an intentional pun? Finishing? Because he's Finnish, you know?
Yeah, I totally meant to do that.
Wow, that was very clever though. But yeah, so Sheepy's boys, Planet Express going out with a bang on the first mid. I didn't really see how that went down, but yeah, unfortunately the medic didn't get away, 94%. Maybe if he'd stuck together with like his last few stragglers, he could have got that Uber and, you know, maybe still alive. But now it's a last hold. Going for not a whole lot of off classes. They're going for a spy. No, I think he's just checking. He's checking things, and they have a heavy, which is pretty default setup. And now it's all about how this push is going to go. But this is kind of what I was talking about at the start. If one team can kind of make rounds happen quickly and just use these advantages on last effectively, it can really be deciding of the map. Looks like they're about to push in from top right though.
Yeah, but it is one hell of a last. It's one of the hardest lasts in my opinion to hold, but they're doing a good job so far. They've taken out the heavy, that's step 1. Now they take out the demo man, that's step 2, Kaidus. And now they just need to clip off these last little stragglers with the player advantage. But they haven't got that much of a player advantage, but they do have more guns in the field. But can Umbrak keep their players alive and just kind of fight out with the sustained heals? And so they can, Kaidus.
Yeah, I think the sniper getting a pick on entry can be really, really vital in Snakewater, because often kind of everyone matters on Snake. It's not like a Badlands where you can kind of just throw any old body on the point, sack the stickies, and then just like bum rush the point. Basically, kind of everyone has a role to play, and if one piece falls, it really makes it easy for the defending team. So that sniper pick was pretty important.
Mookie actually went for the jump in on Umbrak, but he kind of hit the like the aqueduct or whatever this thing is before he could actually get on top of him. So a slight little blunder coming out from the previously Prem soldier.
Yeah, a questionable play. I'm not sure if that bomb was really needed. They're going for a sniper in forward spawn, which is kind of a nice play. Like, he's just hiding in the forward spawn. His team are going to back up when they come in, and he's basically waiting for... Oh no, he's actually just standing in the spawn and aiming. I was going to say he was hiding and going to wait for them to all stack up on the point and then peek, but he's just been shut down. Neo goes down as well, so... Yeah, this is kind of what I was getting at in the first game. Like, the chemistry is not really here at the moment for Planet Express that I'm seeing. Like, the soldier bomb and the sniper in forward spawn, not really compatible plays. You know, one of the best things about having a sniper is means you don't need to do a big sack play for a force. But they're trading Ubers now out of choke on a Sorim. It's a reasonably even trade, but there's a Blitzo is behind, gets taken down, so that's a pick in favor of Planet Express. And these soldiers are really overextending for a red team, actually. They're lingering a little bit too long, and the chase could be on here if they want. Doesn't look like Planet Express are particularly organized to chase it, but they're going to push anyway. They're rotating to grass, going to try and come in from the low ground, but Scouts in first with Buff Soldier. Nice entry, actually. They're all coming in together kind of at the same time, but something snuck around behind from Kitchen. But Tommy will shut that down, and they're going to take mid here off the back of a kind of poor-ish Uber trade for top5rocket.
Yeah, Eco did go down in that little trade of the Uber, but it was a much better trade than what top5rocket had going for them. They lost both the Scout and the Soldier during that, and it's just not really in the stars if you lose just that extra player. I think it really matters if you really want to re-push in from that Soldier second. They have actually sacked in Mookie, who got the medic, and I have not contributed that enough hype to that kill whilst I'm just blabbering off about the last point that they just pushed, and now they're just ransacking all the players in, just trying to cut off the losses from that medic pick. And they have forced out the Uber, so good news, it's not the worst scenario in the world. Oh, it's a shame, because if Kaizu popped that sticky trap just a little bit later, he would have actually killed Scrooby, and he wouldn't be able to push into last with his team.
I would have argued it might not have been the best decision to throw so many bodies in for that force, because it's kind of, even without heals, you can kind of get a more clinical force as they enter into second. Luckily for top5rocket though, Tommy going down actually meant they couldn't push. Like, that one frag alone meant that they couldn't carry the momentum forward, because with the respawns coming in, it just kind of tipped the scales, not out of their favour, but just out of their favour enough that they couldn't follow on to last. So now he was roughly even. We're going to see this kind of stalemate. Opti up on Sniper, Tommy just coming back on Scout. I'm not sure where the off-classing potential is for Planet Express. I mean, Sheepy can snipe a little bit, but never really been his thing by trade, I wouldn't say. And they're going with standard classes, so I don't know. I think we could be slowing down here. I think they're currently expecting the other team to have Uber advantage, but I mean, it's so marginal, they're not ever really going to push on that.
Oh, Mookie's jumped in, and he actually got a clean rocket onto Umbrak, forcing him to pop off. I think he would have actually dropped that if he didn't use the Uber, so no hate on that pop. And now they look like they can't do anything with this Uber whatsoever. The rest of Planet Express are sat outside, so they're just deciding to leave that, call it a bad Uber, and just go back to base and lick their wounds for now.
Yeah, Mookie having an impact so far. I mean, he had kind of one bomb that I questioned, but he's had like 2 out of 3 bombs now coming off completely, like 100% success on those, well, 75% success, something like that. My maths is terrible. Anyway, they're Ubering in lower left, far left. Uber was in clean, but no frags found. Overextending, chasing the heavy, but didn't get the flash in time, so he's going down. But now they're focusing the heavy. They have actually really good point presence at the moment. Frags just kind of being traded, and well, actually, I don't think this is going to come off for them. They've kind of all shuffled onto the lower ground, not really thought about their after Uber positions. Now they're kind of getting cleaned up. Like, something that's quite important on some of these more tricky last pushes, if your initial Uber isn't great, it doesn't matter so much as long as you don't try and be a hero with it. If you just kind of play it slow and steady and make sure you have a good position when the Uber fades. That's not what Planet Express did though. They kind of all just kind of bottled in, tried to get the frags with the dregs of the Uber, and paid the price for it now.
I think they really didn't expect that heavy to stand his ground there. At least Tommy, at the very least, he got killed right during that Uber, if anything. And I think to make that last point Snakewater push matter, you need to make sure that it goes off as swimmingly as possible. No colossal mistakes like that one. Tommy goes down yet again. Maybe a trend we'll see in the rest of this best of 3 qualifier.
Mayhaps.
Alright, we see Medico putting his first foot forward. He's got a nice clean rocket onto Neo, and even follows up with the air shot. Nice kill from Medico. And now they're not really following up on that. Neo is brought down far too low to kind of follow up with his team, and now they're just going to get all the heals back up, and maybe they'll decide to push in later. But I guess they're just fearing that that Uber charge from Scrooby.
Yeah, Planet Express really taking a long time with this actually. I think they might have waited too long even, because I think like top5rocket, as long as they're aware of this, they get a clean force, and they do get the force Neo in with a nice bomb. But now we're looking at we're not looking at Planet Express, we're looking at top5rocket on 95%. The Uber is gone for Planet Express, and they can just repush. They're coming back in kitchen with numbers. This demo for Planet Express is completely overextended on top. If they see him, he's a guaranteed frag, and it's all about how top5rocket play this. They should really focus the guys behind, not chasing with the Uber, just get these guaranteed kills, these guys kind of straggling around. And that's kind of what they do. I mean, they bleed a few bodies on the way, so we're looking at a reset basically. I mean, there's one frag in favor of top 5, but I mean, I can't see them. I'm not sure if they're actually going to do anything with it, considering they have a sniper. So in terms of a DM fight, you know, it's still relatively even.
Yeah, that was a regular game of peekaboo right there. You actually saw the demo man and I think a soldier hiding from that Uber and managed to get out in the end of it. The only casualty. Oh god, the pick onto Scrooby by Blitzo. I guess Blitzo just showing off that sniper prowess, but he is equalised by Mookie, who's decided to go on the rage sniper himself. But now EQ almost got taken out by that scout, but he just managed to hit that last sticky to make it count. Tommy actually strong-arming that soldier, delaying that time from top 5 to really cap that point. The combo can't go forwards because they have to just play their best scout impression now and just kind of cap out that point, at least for the demo man. Medico doesn't need no stinking demo man, Kaidus. He just killed a soldier by himself who was trying to come into that second point.
I'm really questioning the current play that's going on. I mean, the situation, if a fight had broken out just then, it would have been 6v3 in favour of Planet Express. And even with Uber for top 5 rocket, you force that Uber, you scatter, there's nothing they can do with only 2 combat classes on the job. Really questionable play anyway. Nonetheless, top 5 rocket Ubering in now. But will someone make a last push count? They get in, they frag the heavy, no one has gone down for them yet, so this is the best attempt we've seen so far. It's all about playing the point now. Bring them to the point, one scout on the point brings them all in, and that is the round. So it's a nice executed last push, but the play that led up to it, I really have to question. Like, Planet Express should 100% have gone for some kind of play onto 2. The numbers were not in favour of top 5 rocket, and they've missed a trick there. Now they're 1-0 down on what we think is their map pick.
Yeah, it was a very questionable play coming out from Tommy as well. He went on to the heavy weapons guy at last, and then instead of like realising the Uber's popped in and just gone back to his resupply and switched to scout, he actually stayed on the heavy and just kept firing at the Uber and just eventually died. I guess he was just trying to play out the time, but I think he could have, you know, had his cake and eat it too by just going back and get that resupply. So, but we have launched into another mid. We have shown a lot of good presence by top 5, and now the counter jumps come out. Neo is immediately isolated, and you see these scouts are just completely tearing apart Planet Express now, and the cleanup crew actually coming out from Demo Man, believe it or not, from top 5 rocket is just finishing off these last few picks. It's pushed Planet Express to go back to their second. Maybe they'll keep a peek onto this point, lay out some damage, some slight pressure, not giving it away. 4-3. IQ actually decides to go in. Scrooby's just telling him to, okay, now they've actually popped the Uber, but the Uber comes out a little bit later for top 5, and now they're just trying to pick off all these stragglers that aren't Ubered. EQ is overextended way too far. He's got taken out, but he has traded with the other demo man on the other team, but Mookie's gone down trying to help out his teammate below. It's just a pure massacre at this point. The player's advantage is just going far too large for top 5. It just seems that Planet Express just don't know when to say when to let it go, and just
like looking at Planet Express at the moment, they look a bit like nervous. I mean, on this mid, there was so much like pressure for top 5 rocket. Like, they took control of the high ground immediately. Planet Express just sat back, and then Medico came in. Like, I thought he was too early and alone. Like, he jumped in and kind of put so much pressure onto them. Really should have been picked off, and then like some counter aggression going in, because the follow up for top 5 rocket was actually really slow. So I want to have a look at them on this mid, see if they're doing the same kind of like passive posture. Again, Medico in deep fight. Oh, Neo actually, sorry, finds the demo immediately, and the aggression is just kind of a lot more on point for top 5 at the moment. I mean, they lose their medic, but they're 4v3 at the moment. More combat classes on the field. If they focus targets, they should really be their mid. And I think it's going to go that way. I mean, I'm not 100% sure if the coordination's going to be there. They look a bit scared at the moment. Looks like Scrooby's going to at least survive, but it will be mid to top 5 rocket again. Like, I'm not sure who picked Ombrak, but that was really the saving grace of that mid. Like, in terms of just confidence on these mid fights, it can be everything, and right now it's deciding them for top 5 rocket. Medico, I think, was in deep trying to find Scrooby, not able to. But yeah, Scrooby surviving. It gives Planet Express a way back in here, but I'm not so impressed with their mid fights at the moment. They need to kind of just man up basically and go for it a little bit more, I feel like, and they're currently pushing in from top right. They get in for free, they in cleanly. The bomb's been denied for Medico, so he's out of the way. That's who I believe is the roaming soldier, like, shut down, which is always a nice confidence photo as you push in on a mid for a medic. You know there's no bomb coming in. Neo's actually just walking in alone. If he gets a force hit, that's ridiculous. He should never get that force in a million years. He just walks in, he doesn't even jump in, he just kind of walks in, surfs a rocket. Oh my god, that's poor play. I mean, Scrooby had to pop, he had no choice when the first rocket landed, he was so close, but he's going to be asking serious questions of his combo there. As they do move in on momentum, 2 players down now, one down for Planet Express. And the play's kind of all over the place, they're just kind of fighting.
Yeah, Sheepy's kind of almost cut off here. Yeah, he has been finished off by Medico in the end. It was Neo kind of just showing off that, I guess that Neo should have been watching that door. This is going to get very confusing. The pocket soldier of Neo over on Planet Express fighting off against that roaming soldier of top5rocket. But he has been taken out. A nice little random pipe kills him and finishes him off. Mookie's actually decided to go in with this. He got some decent damage onto the demo man. He sees if he could follow up on it, but the medic is there. I think it's far too difficult for a roaming soldier on his own to take out that demo man. So he will pay his price. And it's going to make it a lot difficult for Planet Express to kind of force out that Uber from Ombrak.
Oh my word, the entire combo just ran through a sticky trap. I'm not sure where EQ was there, but he could have got like a double, triple kill, medic drop, at least missed a trick there, but nonetheless, Ubers are being traded onto. This fight started in favour of top5rocket with the pick advantage, and looks like it's going to finish in favour of them. They're better position at the moment. The health is not great for Scrooby, he's down. These stragglers on Bulk should get cleaned up, IQs should be going down. Need to watch this 5 HP on Mookie. Oh my god, they're just not focusing targets efficiently at the moment. They should clean this up a lot more convincingly. They lose their medic along the way, but I mean, it is pretty much a wipe. There's a scout on the back cap. Is he going to get that? Surely there's someone there. Tommy's taking a 1v1. It's a 1v1 on last. And oh my god, whoever that was, win it. It's Bledsoe. Taunting on the point. So that fight got a little bit messy. I mean, it looked like top5rocket should win that fight, but I mean, they didn't quite focus targets, but they got there in the end. I guess they had one scout missing going for last already, which could have been contributing.
Yeah, it was very strange. In a way, they just kind of, when both of the Ubers got traded out, you think that Planet Express would just back out to last and cut it off, but they went, no, we can still hold on to this second somehow, and they just decided to go on in, and then they just got completely minced through. I don't know what they were thinking, trying to hold on to second there, and we actually see that they've got a much better mid this time, Planet Express, but they're a bit scattered. They have lost a few players on the side of that. Tommy's decided to go into low, and he's almost taken out the demo man by himself, but now he has to face off against a buffed Omni. He still hasn't been taken out, and Sheepy has finally cleaned up that soldier that was niggling behind. Scrooby's even gone all the way back. If he just decides to completely leave Tommy pissing in the wind, and he has gone down for his efforts.
Yeah, I will say this for Planet Express. I think they're at least recognizing the mistake they're making at the moment, because the aggression was a lot, like, it existed this time at least.
Yes.
The bomb for Neo, oh my god, Mookie with the fat body shot, oh my, drop into Oobs.
Yeah, almost the fat headshot onto Kaizo as well, but he does manage to survive with the slight
Is that a mid-air headshot? I think that might have been a mid-air headshot on Medico. I mean, the bomb was kind of pathetic, but it's a mid-air headshot. You can't take that away from him.
Those pencil jumps.
He kind of missed the skip and just kind of floated into his crosshair.
Well, with absolutely no soldiers kind of like, you know, sack this on top of this medic now, Scrooby's is going to get in for complete free. They've actually decided to go for the back cap. I wonder if they'll actually decide to block the midpoint.
Oh
it seems
God,
the midpoint
Opti
they have.
just
Opti's doing it. He's fighting off against a sniper, and I guess you just see the mistake of rolling that sniper on that little push there, because now he can't really catch up to the scouting time. He's actually going to cap off this last one. Eco's managed to jump back, but he's far too low.
What a god!
He has to go as quick as he can, and the trade-off is you just have no health to really sustain a fight at that point. Oh my god!
I think Mookie definitely did enough to justify his being a sniper. He dropped the medic. He had a headshot. He got another frag, and then another frag. He got 3 or 4 frags and a few extra headshots. Just his someone has to kind of fill in for him, you know, on the flank and just cover the extra doors.
It's just the weakness of the sniper in the end, though.
Yeah, just the team play not quite there to utilise it efficiently. And we're kind of looking at a 4-0 scoreline, which is definitely not what Planet Express had in mind coming into this map. I mean, we're still not 100% sure if it was their map, but we're pretty sure it was. And it looks like this mid is going one way or the other. All the frags coming in for top 5. But Screaming over Numasoko is broken down to a 2v2. The scouts are really scared. Oh my god, Sheepy's actually getting it. Wow, that fight was really, really messy.
I think that was just the superior DM of Planet Express kind of fleshing itself out in the end. But you're down 4-0 on your own map that you've picked. This can't be good for morale.
No, it certainly can't be. I mean, that mid-win, they got full Uber advantage. I mean, they had a push on to last in the first round, but I mean, I don't think they've even seen the enemies last since that round, so they'll be feeling better now. Like, they have a way, like, this is a round, basically. Like, if you play everything right from here, you don't make any big mistakes of your own, you have a round kind of in the bag, and it's up to you to convert it now, so that's at least something. That looks like they're taking CP2 for free, which is what you want in this situation. You don't really want to be using that Uber, but I mean, they haven't really taken ground as efficiently as I'd like them to see. As efficiently as I would have liked to see. But Neo comes in with the bomb, doesn't make it happen, and just a sniper of Opti now to worry about, who is all the way back on last now. In fact, he might even be cycling spawn. He is watching top left, but I mean, they still have a slight advantage to get in with. They're pushed in. Going for the medic, which is not a bad choice considering he's 20% away from Uber, but now they need to make sure they're not taking these really bad positions. Oh, Scooby chasing a doomed soldier of his over to the far left. I mean, they should be able to get this. They're 3v2, they were 4v2. They're going to get it just about. I mean, not the most convincing push. It kind of had the same problems they saw before, but this time the DM just wasn't there, I guess, for top 5 rocket to convert on their mistakes.
I think that was just a non-convincing push against a non-convincing defense. Umbrak was in a horrible position. He just immediately got... he was right on top... A soldier was right on top of him. He was nowhere near the spawn to really get that, you know, get out of jail safeguard. And now it just leads to a round for Planet Express. So maybe that morale is going to start chippering back up, but it's still for 3 extra rounds. That's going to feel quite a squeeze with 11 minutes remaining. And we actually see more, I would say the majority of aggression coming out of Planet Express. It's quite even so far. Actually, you see a lot of healthy damage coming out for Planet Express, but it's just being traded left, right and centre. It's just poor little EQ by himself and his own little medic, and Umbrak did not go down this time for a change for top 5.
I'm not sure why top 5 rocket aren't chasing that. 2 scouts against a demo and a medic with no respawns in sight, and they'd only, like, what are they, 5 feet in front of them? They don't chase? Big mistake, man. Big mistake.
Parking that bus, man.
Well, it's a lot easier to park a bus against a team with no Uber, you know?
I guess they just don't want to risk it whatsoever. They feel like they're in the driver's seat right now, and if we just have both of our scouts sit back, they can guarantee get that point and not have a tragedy on their hands.
I guess so. Cowardly play though, I'm not gonna lie. They should have gone for that. I mean, even if you lose 1 scout, you're still gonna get the mid. They don't have the respawns or anything to really contest with 1 scout pick. Like, they'd still get the mid. But here we are, stalemate. Mookie again hitting headshots. I mean, this guy's going sniper. He's making it work for him at the moment. Just hope his team is not going to let him down this time. They're Ubering in on that demo pick. Not a bad decision. They get an early force. Just going to see how this one's playing out. They're not really getting any position. They didn't have anyone to go behind, I guess, because Mookie's down. They didn't really have anything happening on the flank. But Mookie with another frag coming in for Sheepy as well. They have the numbers now. They need to repush this before the spawns are coming in, though. Need to establish position because of their sniper. They really have to do this swiftly. They do that. They haven't got a demo, but I mean, now the sniper's going to kind of lend itself to them a little bit. Like, without stickies, they at least have the fear of Mookie. And, you know, when a sniper's hitting shots kind of like one after the other, like Mookie's doing at the moment, the, you know, the mental impact of that can actually do more than the damage itself. Just, you know, just knowing the threat's there makes you not want to peek on these sightlines. It's interesting to see the role of Iku. He seems to kind of stay alive a lot longer than he should do, and during all that fighting trying to kill off Iku, top 5 rocket just get picked off from all different angles, and the headshot onto Neo actually, I think, who was jumping Mookie in midair. Nice little clean headshot to deny it. The scouts did finish him off in the end though. The Uber has actually been forced out of Umbrak now, and it's just completely smooth sailing for Planet Express. They haven't even had to pop their own Uber now, and they're just pushing straight into this top lobby. They finish off Blitz, so that's just a bonus reward, and they're even going straight to last themselves. Kaiser's just trying to fight off against 4 players. He does force off the Uber, gets a nice surf back up. Umbrak is trying his best to stay alive and keep his demo man alive, but he will go down to the sheer numbers, and Neo is just a poor little lonely roaming soldier. It's time for Medico to make the jump, but he's just not there in time. Another round for Planet Express, maybe the comeback? It could be. EQ just walking in there from Storeroom, like he just came out of Storeroom, held W the entire way. I mean, a bit of a questionable pop from Umbrak. He was on like 90 HP when he popped without another like projectile in sight, so he could have held that a bit longer, adjusted his position, maybe had an even trade out of it. But I mean, again, it's Mookie opening things up with a sniper that lets them in so easily, I guess, in the first place. As we are now finding ourselves back on another middle, and top 5 rocket probably want to win this one. You know, they need to kind of convert, like turn this momentum back into their favor. Neo in deep, doesn't really find much, goes down. There's a lot of damage though, but they're just not able to kind of follow up on it at the moment. 2-for-1 trades and a lot of position for Planet Express. There's 1 scout behind, but I think they're well aware of him. He shouldn't do anything, but he just runs in and kills Mookie. Wow. I hope he's scratching his head there, but I mean, you know, they covered it, they traded it quickly and efficiently. There's a mid for them. I mean, I'm not sure if they want how deep they want to go onto this suit too. They're looking like they want to move, but I mean, when these respawns come in, it's not going to favor them in the fight. If I was top 5, I would want to contest this for sure, and they do. If they trade Ubers here, like when the respawns come, they're all spawning a lot closer to this point for top 5. So yeah, Planet Express recognizing they're starting to back up. Now they're kind of lingering. This is a bad position to be in. They're all just lingering on the low ground. They Uber in. There's a big chance for multis here, actually. Oh wow, that was actually really well played by the top 5 rocket demo. Just surfed away. No flash required, and it's a much better trade for top 5 rocket. Actually, in the end, they seem to focus targets now. That soldier on the fence, he's the guy I'd go for, and they do it belatedly, but they're going for him nonetheless, and he's now underneath, quite weak. And there should be another frag from... Wait, he gets an arrow actually. They're going to think he's weaker than he is. He might be able to pull something off here. Maybe,
he's right on top of the medic. He's got a
does.
scout and a soldier for his troubles, and Kaidus does finish him off with the melee kill. But whilst all that was going down, Opti was doing work. Kaidus, he just completely, like a cancer, just destroyed the body from the inside, and it was just poor little Sheepy who lives to tell the tale. Oh man, it's going to be a real shame for Neo. He did such massive work for his team, not only getting the medic, but getting the scout as well.
Yeah, that arrow, like, I think top5rocket just expected him to be weak, because he was about 50 HP when he dropped under, and they all kind of focused him before, so they knew he was tagged already, so when he jumped up, I guess they all thought, you know, easy frag. No one really, like, panicking, or, like, not panicking, but no one really just trying to kill him fast or going for the air shot, you know, thinking just a few, like, chip shots will kill him. But nope, arrow for like 100. A lot harder to kill. A lot harder to kill.
Yeah, I mean, that positioning that they had, it was just probably hell-bent, one of the worst positions you could possibly linger to. It's just low ground for such huge point, no cover whatsoever, but they are pushing into the second, and they're just getting away with so much point presence without even need of going through any sort of defense that Planet Express have set up for them, and they've all managed to do this before the both either team gets their Uber, so now they're going to have that built and ready for this last push, but Scrooby's going to have his own for the defense. We'll see. This
is kind of a horrible position for Planet Express. There's 6 minutes left, they're 2 rounds down, and there's an Uber stalemate on last. If I was top5rocket here, I would not do anything risky. What are they doing? Okay, they make a clean entry, they get forced really early, but this is all questionable play in itself, I think. I don't think this is the efficient way to play this situation. They finally force the Uber, but I mean, I'd be surprised if they get out with 6. I'd be really, really surprised if they manage it.
Yeah,
Demo's overextending, he's going down. The medic might just survive.
No one's looking at Medico though, he's just stayed on top of the shed, not a single soul has looked at him, and he just decided to stay in, and he's just rained fury down on them, and now you just see the rest of top 5 just trying to enter in off of all that damage. There's absolutely nobody healing up the rest of Planet Express, but I guess the power of the respawners, the power of Snakewater Lass is just showing through, and Ombrak gets taken out for his troubles. It's a real shame because Medico did such huge damage then. It was a huge oversight for Planet Express, but you know, Snakewater Lass, man, you can't argue.
If top5rocket lose tonight now, or at least if they lose this map and then go on to lose the game, they will look at that moment and they will kick themselves. They should never have done that. There was no need to make such a risky play. Like an Uber trade on Snakewater last is, you know, it's not that it can't work, but it's just not an efficient way to play the situation when you have 2-round advantage with 6 minutes left. You can kill 2 or 3 minutes just going for a pick and engineering an advantage for yourself that guarantees you the round, and eventually Planet Express have to push. They have no choice but to make a risky play of their own, but instead top 5 just made the risky play themselves. I don't get it. Maybe they didn't realise the time or the Uber situation, maybe they thought they had advantage, but nonetheless we're all the way back on their second at the moment trying to defend, and they actually are doing a decent job of defending. 3 down.
He just went into 3 players by himself and just killed 2 of them. One's backing out, and there was some more shenanigans coming out from Planet Express just trying to leak in there as well. I guess they just suspected that the combo could take out that poor little scout by himself, but it's Opti, man, it's an Opti scout.
Yeah, Opti's been playing, he's had some really big moments. I have to say, going into this game, I didn't know a whole lot about these teams. I have to say, I still don't really know a whole lot about a lot of them, but Opti is a name I'll remember after watching this map. He's had a lot of moments, impressive moments, the back cap, several sprees, and just kind of clutch plays, heads-up plays, I guess you'd call them.
Well, they've got the full 100% Uber advantage. If I was them, I would be going. An advantage is an advantage in the end of it. But then again, if you've got Mookie sniping, it does send chills down your spine, and you're a little bit less nervous to make that little push. Sheepy's actually kind of poking his head through, see if he can get a pick off. The crits actually popping out by IQ, seeing if you get, but the Uber's always going to be that crits in the end if that medic can pop it off. And he's managed to keep the majority of his team alive, but that top lobby is crowded with way too many Planet Express players, and they're just not going to risk it, especially with Blitzo and Opti going down. But they did cap the point during that, so there will be a slight little delay. They even got the forward respawn for Blitzo, so they can probably salvage some sort of a mid defense on this, but they've already spread their advances on the Planet Express team. They're looking towards the kitchen to push, but Scrooby's very low. He's very nervous about making this push with his team, and they're just completely hitting the meat grinder at this point. Scrooby actually gets taken out by Neo, who's in the thick of it. Kaiser's kind of joined him as well. Medico's just cleaning up the rest of the players that have leaked in from every orifice from Planet Express, and it just goes to show that Scrooby wanted to say no, but the rest of the team just wanted to say yes for Planet Express.
Planet Express didn't really have a choice there. There's 3 minutes left now. They're 2 rounds down. It was kind of, they had a pick there. It was probably the best chance they were going to get. If they didn't push in that moment, all it meant is Opti would spawn, it would be 6v6, and they'd have the option to just slow everything down and stalemate it out and force Planet Express to eventually push 6v6. So you can see why they did it. It didn't come off, and I think that's probably the game now. I'm wondering if Scooby's considering crits. It might be their only way to push out this last. They're going to have to go for it. Blitzo's actually on Spy. I'm not sure where he is, if he's made it into position yet. Wow, yeah, Blitzo's on Spy. He's going to be able to go to last, I think. Like, Planet Express have no choice but to push, but as long as they block this point, this is a guaranteed back cap. But they have to block it. They have to block it. The block is required.
Yeah, they've got Opti on there, and he's done a very good job. Demoman even stacks onto that as well, but no other players are really there for it. It's just the medic who's fighting off against the scout. So no back cap, no shenanigans from top5rocket, but I think it's almost going to actually. I guess
it's possible. No, it's still possible.
Yeah, still very possible. But at this point, if you're top5rocket, you could probably slow this game down to a standstill with just the right classes. And
yeah, these guys on 2 need to not die though. Okay, I'm not sure which one it was, but one of the top5rocket soldiers was just kind of chilling on the train, completely alone, and really needed to get out of there.
Blitzo is still behind, by the way. He's still rocking Spy. Tommy's actually, sucking him out. He's finally deduced what his plan was, but I think they've just got way too many players to kind of for Planet Express to deal with these like little last pushes. So I think it's pretty much the Fat Lady is sung. I think it's pretty much impossible for this point on now. top5rocket will take the first map, and this was, keep in mind, Planet Express's map. So congratulations to them. Not a feat that you see every single day.
Yeah, well played to them. I mean, I think Planet Express will probably kick themselves a bit. They had a really slow start for this into this game. Like I said, like their posture on mids is something you only really see in high pressure games. Like everyone just kind of sitting back and no one really willing to contest the guys like on top. Like it wasn't even like they just had a passive setup. They had a really inefficient setup. Like they were completely giving high ground, sitting back and just kind of waiting for someone else to take responsibility for everything, you know. Like looking at the logs, just before I look at any of the player stats, like the first thing that stands out to me is in the first 4 rounds where top 5 went up, one of the rounds was 129, one of the rounds was 151, one of the rounds was 3 minutes 4. So those are pretty quick rounds. I mean, the first one was kind of long, but once they got that, you know, we're talking mid, go to last, win, mid, go to last, fail, repush, win, mid, go to last, win. So it's kind of like those set of mid fights that I was talking about where Planet Express just kind of bottled it. I think that's where this game was decided actually.
Yeah, they just, I suppose they just did not adapt quick enough, and top5rocket really striking it home where it counts before they had the chance to kind of strike back themselves, Planet Express. So, watching both of these teams now, Kaidus, you're trembling in your boots for next season? Do you think if any of these teams manage to squeeze it through that qualifying spot, are you thinking, oh man, I'm really going to be scared of that Opti guy?
I would look out for Opti if I was playing them as team units. I think both these teams have kind of a ways to go before they're gonna, if they make it through, they're gonna have a ways to go before they can really contest like around the playoff areas. They'll be scrapping it for relegation, I think, if these teams make it through. But I mean, it's early days yet. It's a long season ahead. These guys actually have a long way to go before they even can consider that. So, you know, improvement can happen, but we'll see. Do we have any idea what the next map is?
I don't know. Maybe they'll tell me on the match page. I'll have a quick gander over here on the Turbo Supercomputer, which is actually a 2002 netbook, so it's going to be a slight while. But in the meantime, we can have a quick glance at these logs, look at the statistical jumbo, see what they tell us. And the first thing I see is going straight to that damage stats, as always, is Medico had a good game and Sheepy's just... Yeah, it was just, I think it was the Medico show, actually, watching it. It seems to have such a bigger impact than his counterpart of Neo, who's just not, who's kind of like way out there in comparison to him.
Yeah, looking at like everything together, actually, I was going to say, he's getting like quite a lot of heals. Like normally, like, I don't know, the logs I'm used to seeing these days generally involve kind of like an 8k, 9k pocket with a demo about 1,000 under, and it's kind of getting up to the 10ks is something you don't see that often. So I thought he was actually being like very heal heavy, but I mean, Neo's actually sitting on 11k in terms of heal, so the damage output for Medico is like just vastly surpassing his opposite number. So yeah, really solid game.
Well, I can actually tell you that the next map is your favourite, Kaidus. It's Sunshine.
Wow! So everything I was saying in the pre-game, I mean, I was just guessing. I don't know anything about these teams, so I was just saying that's a kind of thing that when I've done map eliminations, that's what I've experienced. But I guess that is top5rocket's pick.
Yep.
I was gonna go back to that match page from before because there was definitely something stuck out to me about Sunshine on that match page. Let's see.
Well, I think the Sunshine is really an interesting pick. I think that's kind of a signature move, I guess you could say. If a team has a really strong presence on Sunshine of all maps, it's really gonna. It would scare me as a team because it's not really a map that anyone wants to play or practice.
Yeah, I guess again it's making sense for top5rocket. They are an established team. They have a season or more seasons. I don't know how many seasons they have under their belt, but they will have played at least one season of Sunshine together. Whereas this is this is a brand new team, basically. Like, I doubt they've played Sunshine. I'll be surprised if they've played Sunshine more than once together at this point, because it's not a map that, when you're a new team and you're trying to get, like, chemistry going and things like that, the first thing you do is you play Badlands, Process, your Gully Washes, the maps that everyone kind of already knows their individual roles on inside out, so it can all mesh together very organically, whereas on Sunshine it's something you really have to kind of, put your heads together and discuss in depth before anyone really understands what's going on. So it's going to be actually really tough. I wouldn't want to be Planet Express right now, having lost their pick, and now they have to win Sunshine to stay in playoffs against a team that wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. Not a nice position, I don't think. I don't like their chances after the first map.
Do you think Sunshine is one of those maps that you can wing it, or is it really, when it comes to Sunshine, you have to do your homework and just know and really grease out with your team where everyone's going to stand and what they're going to be doing?
Oh no, you can wing any map, I guess, but it's just not it just doesn't tend to be a map where people fully understand it yet, especially kind of at this level of play. Like, a lot of Prem teams really hate it because they still don't have a complete grasp on it. And for these kind of low Prem, top high level kind of teams, it can be quite difficult. It can be quite stressful. Arguments can break out. It just makes it. It's just like, yeah, it's not like Badlands. Where, like, if you think about Badlands, if you're like a scout combo, it's like, okay, I'll go shit house, you go slope, or I'll go choke, you go slope. You have these really established roles that everyone knows, and in like 3 sentences at the start of the game, you can figure out who's doing what, basically, of an already established set of gameplay. It doesn't exist on Sunshine, so you really have to just, it's either going to click or it's not, and if it doesn't, they're going to really struggle. I mean, maybe they've played it more, maybe I'm not giving them enough credit, and they played it a lot more than I expect, but in general, it's just not a map that you play in your first few weeks together as a team.
Yeah, there's just so many maps, so little time. And this team was one of the later teams, I believe, to be formed towards the end of the season. So I think Planet Express are going to struggle at the very, very least. But I'm interested to see what top 5 do. If you pick a map like Sunshine, I feel like you've got to be busting something. Maybe some sort of innovative plays or holds or something. Maybe we could all learn from top5rocket. It just takes those lower teams to kind of bust out the initial idea and then maybe start handcrafting it, letting the Prem players perfect it in a way.
Maybe. It might just be like a more empirical thing, though. They played it last season, they won all their matches on it. I mean, I was looking at the match page of the final of High. They didn't ban it. It was like, it was HKN's second ban in that game. So clearly, they've never, like, as far as I can tell, looking at the best of 3s they've played, they've never banned it. They're clearly comfortable on it. Might just be like a coincidental thing where they played it and got good results. Maybe they know something we don't. Either way, though, it's going to be a tough one.
Plus, like you said earlier, getting good practice on that Sunshine map really makes it easy peasy for this map and elimination style bans, because they can just, not many teams are going to suspect that the other team's going to pick Sunshine, so they feel like maybe we shouldn't waste a ban on it and we should ban something else. And then when it is pulled out in the end, it can almost be like a series, just losing game just before the match even starts.
Yeah, I'd be interested. This is why I would always say it would be really good to always be able to see the vetoes in these situations, because it can tell you so much. Like, what did Planet Express ban instead of? Well,
I can tell you. I can tell you exactly. Yeah. So
give me the details.
I'll tell you right from the start. I'll paint the picture. We've got Ombrak immediately banning off Granary at the start. Don't know why, but yep, they ban out Granary. Then Sheepy follows up with Viaduct ban. Then he picks Snakewater. And Ombrak picks Sunshine. Then Ombrak bans Gully Wash. Sheepy bans Badlands, and so in the end, Process is the last map remaining, so they decide that will be the tiebreaker.
Yeah, so they banned Viaduct, which I guess it's another one that makes sense. It's also another map that new teams tend to not enjoy playing that much, because again, it can be a map that's just more stressful to play. You know, it can break teams before they're even made. So I guess they kind of rolled the dice. Maybe, I don't know. There's always a chance they're comfortable on Sunshine, and I'm just talking absolute crap. But I'm just kind of going by like the established principles you tend to see in these situations. But I guess they went for a Viaduct.
Yeah, I'm interested to know why they banned Granary, though. Maybe it's just after playing for so long, it's just, you know, there's always that one map that always troubles a team, and they just want to have absolutely nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just their weak map. They just see it as the map that they're worst on. I mean, all teams kind of have maps they don't like to play. Like, because most teams, like around this level, ETF2L is really the only time you see them play. So you don't really learn so well what their weak maps are, because they don't really have that many vetoes to do or best of threes to play where you have to, you know, where you get to ban maps. I mean, so yeah, it's probably honestly just a map they don't like.
Okay, so I want you to picture yourself, Kaidus. You're over on the top five, not top five, but let's go with Planet Express. You're sheepy right now. You've got everyone on your team is terrified of this map, and they don't know what to do. What encouraging words are you going to say to them? What wisdom are you going to lay upon them?
For which team?
Planet Express.
Planet Express. Oh boy,
sheepy man, you're sheepy. Put your best sheepy impression on.
Oh my god, I don't think I could do that. I don't know. They just have to win mids basically. If you can just win mids, you're gonna have a much. It's just kind of classic thing for 5 CP map. If you win the mids, you're gonna have a lot better time. But the mids is like, it's another mid, a little bit like Snake War, as I talked about before, where there's not really a whole lot of like different options. You know, it's kind of you get to mid, and then everyone can kind of see everything. You can make a call, play left or right, and that's basically it. After that, it's all just about individuals being effective and finding a way to make them effective or shut down, like, you know, their opposite numbers.
Not the most encouraging speech, though. If you just said to your team, no, this mid is like Snake Water. You know that map we just lost.
If Planet Express was my team, I would have said, ban this map. Don't play this map. This map blows. Just don't even do it, boys. We wouldn't be in a situation if I was there.
You just you take the Viaduct bullet rather than the Sunshine bullet.
Yeah, Viaduct's really easy. Like, I think Viaduct should be a map that everyone plays and everyone's comfortable on, because it's one situation, it's one cap, one situation. Well, 2 situations, attacking and defending, you know? And
it's been around forever. You feel like a lot of teams would just kind of get used to what they need to do on the map by now, especially at this level, at the very least.
And I mean, Sheepy was going crazy last map. I mean, he was 2nd top damage on the server, which for a scout is always an impressive stat to boast. Mookie was going nuts on Sniper. I can't really see what their problem with Viaduct would have been. I mean, but I don't know. I'm kind of just speculating all of this because I don't know the teams that great, but we are going live, I think, I hope, I beg, so I can stop kind of just guessing facts about these teams that could end up being really wrong and embarrassing myself, and we're live!
Well, we are launched into it. If you're just joining us, this is ETF2L Season 22, powered by Saloon.tf. This is top5rocket versus Planet Express. I'm yet again joined by Kaidus, DavidTheWin on camera, and I'm TurboTabs, and this is another mid, and the first thing I see is Planet Express kind of blobbing up on this left-hand side, and but it seems top5 are mirroring him. Neo trying to stay on top of that bell tower. They're focusing down Medico, but he does take out IQ yet again. He seems to be the punching bag for the Planet Express team, but they're getting the majority, like the best, I guess, money could buy in their team, just ransacking their demo for the rest of top 5, and it's just an easy mid for Planet Express, it seems.
Yeah, really convincing mid. I mean, I don't think top5rocket played that mid as best as they could. Planet Express they obviously had a call to play left. They had 6 guys on left, whereas top5rocket, they kind of had three mirroring that and playing on their left, but then they had kind of 3 people who took that fight with the Planet Express blob on the other side, and those 3 were the first 3 to die, basically. I mean, they traded maybe 1 frag for those 3, but that was it, basically. That was the fight over, so they just didn't stick together. Like, one team stuck together, the other did not, and you can pretty much guess who's going to win that fight every time.
Well, let's see the defense for top5rocket, and it's going to have to be one hell of a defense. They do have to fight off against that Uber advantage, and it seems they've decided to... it's kind of strange, actually. They've decided to hold the Demo Man and the Soldier on the left-hand side. Usually you only see the Roamer hang out on that left-hand side, but they have popped him from that very left-hand side. But Neo's being pushed back by this Heavy, played by Opti. He's taken out by IQ, and now they're just trying to just focus down a target. They've got some slight point pressure in the shape of Tommy, and even more point pressure. They're focusing some slight players. Kaiser has actually decided to stand on the point himself to make sure that point isn't pressured any longer, and it seems that the slight little trading war is kind of like a spam fight from each side of the last point does go in the favour of top 5, just having that respawn advantage.
Yeah, Scooby managed to make it out, so they are going to be working with an advantage. I'm not entirely sure if top 5 Rocket have a right to be here. I don't think they do. They kind of sniff the cap and run away, which is a good decision in the end. I would have liked to see one of these scouts maybe just not try that, maybe just stay in spawn and start building a gun, because I mean, they knew that Scooby survived and had advantage, but they also know that he has to build it the whole way, which gives you time to build up a level 3, and on Sunshine last, if you just tank it up, get a Heavy, get a gun, there's pretty much nothing they can do. Like, even with Uber advantage, it's such a hard push to make, partly because the map's still relatively new, and people haven't worked out, you know, the exact ways to push and where to finish, and where to stand when the Uber fades, and these kind of facts that you just learn. And they are pushing from lower right now with big advantage. The Heavy chilling behind the fence in the OP spot, which isn't in the new version of the map. Why are they playing the old version of the map? I don't know. But they're fighting. The Heavy does go down, and it's kind of, well, they actually take 2 frags, so this is looking pretty good for them. Point pressure should start coming in for Planet Express now. They managed to trade frags on the point, and that's pretty much the fight.
Oh, the Uber comes in. They popped the Uber, so they are going to hold on to this point for a bit longer, but they can just flutter around this point, Planet Express. They've actually killed off Kaizo during that Uber, during like the flashing, and Medico does take out Scout, but he surfs away from the point. I think you just see the poor decision in just holding that left-hand side with both the Demo Man and the Soldier, and it's just allowed that lower door to be completely exposed, and a free entry to get on top of that Heavy and take him out in the first few seconds of that Uber, and just, I think it was smooth sailing from for Planet Express from that point on.
Yeah, I think so. I really want to see top 5 Rocket kind of play more together on this mid, because Planet Express blobbed up so well last time. There were literally 6 guys in one area of the map, and they just took the fight like 6 versus 1, 6 versus 1, 6 versus 1. We see them kind of playing a little bit more passive. They are actually sticking together a bit more this time. They find the first frag, and they're actually bullying them back into the corner. The medic, Scooby, kind of just hanging out in his own valley, disconnected from his players now. If they focus targets efficiently, they should be their mid. There's one scout lingering underneath. If they're all going for him. It's a really nice decision. And then, but then there's a soldier jumping in. It's, what's his name? It's Mookie. He's in. He's cleaned up. And it's a really effective mid from top of Rocket. What is this Demo Man doing? He's just flying in. They find the medic, so I guess it works out in the end. But poor positioning from Umbrak, really. I don't see how that should have worked. He should have seen him coming a mile off, because he jumped in like in plain sight. Long jump, and he just kind of backs up the wrong way. If Umbrak had gone backwards rather than forwards, like he went forwards to kind of take shelter behind his shed, but if he'd gone backwards, that jump was not reaching him, and he would have survived. So, you know, these decisions, in the blink of an eye, costing him. But I mean, they do win the mid. The mid dies late, but it's you know, a better round for them so far than the last one.
Yeah, I think that was the best situation they could make out of it, Planet Express. There was what I thought was like a slight communication error during that. You could tell that Scooby was definitely going to die to a soldier off in the flank, but the rest of his team have already gotten out. They could have used that time to get on top of the team quickly, and I think they could have actually killed all of them before they got all that heals being splashed out from Umbrak, and maybe even taken the mid off them, surprisingly enough, with Scooby going down. But they've pushed out with the Uber Planet Express. They're trying to pick off this Neo, the other soldier, but the backhand from Opti yet again. Oh, the gun!
The gun!
They must have heard your advice in the wind, Kaidus, and they've decided to build that gun.
That's so random, though.
Why did the scout cap it for so long and then the gun finally killed him? I thought that was...
Why was there a gun? They had full Uber. They knew their medic was spawning early compared to the other. They were going to have a big amount of push off last. It's a really random decision to leave someone making a gun and then going. But I mean, I guess it worked this time. But I mean, it could just as easily have been a soldier watching last. But I don't know, kind of crazy. I'd be scratching my head if I was Opti. But nonetheless, Planet Express go 2 players down. No Uber was currently involved, so they should just bully them out of this point. Maybe pick up some frags along the way, but it's definitely going to be theirs. For Planet Express, it's all about not losing too many players.
Sheepy's not going to get out, is he? He is going to get out. Actually, yeah. Opti's already onto the point again. He's absolutely hungry for this point. Even trying to cap it right underneath their noses, even though they're on the last point. They just need to turn the heads and shoot it on me. Maybe he's just going a bit too pigeonholed with these points, Kaidus. Yeah,
that was a questionable play. I mean, Planet Express could push out if they wanted. I mean, I haven't really been tracking the Uber, so I don't know if this advantage they have is a real one, or if it's one they've got through the other team not building, but they are actually pushing. Maybe a little bit too late, as the Uber's actually going to be up for Umbrak any second. So this Uber's basically been wasted. I mean, they're going to get the cap, but it's going to be a leapfrog situation. They find Neo, which is actually a really big frag in this situation. Having like an extra guy just to go in with when you're already up on Uber is really, really nice. Pushing him from Cafe, they're in clean. Uber hasn't been popped on the choke, which is pretty much step 2. They're in for free. Yep, they're going to keep this Uber for last.
And it's really difficult to hold on to that second point if you don't have, if you have like a slight disadvantage. There's not a great avenue to really keep yourself safe and also get out, but also defend that second point without really the safety net of an Uber. But now the safety net has been popped for top5rocket. They've gone onto this left hand side. They've taken out the gun, but that was just like the 7th player for Planet Express. They're just trying to pressure this point now, but there's absolutely no stickies. IQ can't even get onto the point in time to kind of put the stickies back onto the point, so I guess they were just kind of stuck into their last resupply there.
Ombrak writes in chat, yeah, focused med, so I guess I didn't see it until she being rude. I didn't really see it, but I guess Planet Express coming a little bit too hard for the frag onto Ombrak there and leaving the point exposed, because I mean they did have numbers. When that cap went down, they actually had a number advantage, so they'll be scratching their heads. A missed opportunity to defend there, I think, and keep the game in their advantage. But we're back on another mid. Trades, soldier for soldier somewhere. I think that was in Cafe. I'm not entirely sure. There's a soldier right behind. Oh my god, the sandwich is real. Who is that? I don't know. Soldier number 5. Who the hell is that?
That is Neo. That is Neo who
Neo number 2, soldier number 5.
No longer settling with number 2, decided to be the number 1 soldier div 5. And now Tommy is actually doing an admirable job of just walking straight into 3 players and taking the medic right in front of their eyes. That was very scrappy. They just kind of like just mashed against each other. It was just like a reverse tug of war to see who would win.
Oh, there was kind of a moment of quality actually for top5rocket as French Neo kind of came in from behind. There was a real nice sandwich of damage between him and his demo Calypso. I thought they should have actually won that cleanly based on that situation, but a couple of extra guys were able to just get forward and trade the med out. So they kind of equalised that situation. But another mid goes to top5rocket, and we're looking at actually a much closer game in comparison to the last one.
Ooh, nice air shot coming out from Soldier D5, aka Neo. Mookie following up on that damage though that was dished out by his actual Neo pocket. You know, really showing that there can only be one in this matrix, I suppose. Pop culture reference. Okay, well, they're pushing in from choke now. They've got the 100% Uber advantage. They're not scared of anything right now. Maybe Screw is a bit scared of losing his pocket from overextending, but Neo knows what to do. He just doesn't go way too far forward. He just pushes out the rest of top 5 gaming who do not want to screw with an Uber right now, and that's what they're doing right below. They've actually ransacked Neo to kind of sacrifice himself for that Uber. Nice little double air shot. Medico, that is why he got top damage. He's just hitting everybody in the air as well as on the ground. You actually see Sheepy fighting off the Demoman in this lobby though. He's giving the ring around the rosy. He's gone back to last. IQ is on the last with him. He's got those stickies on point. Can Medico!
Oh my god!
Medico! What on earth? He just... Good god!
See you on YouTube, friends.
Wow, I was like, there's no way he could do this. He entered that with like less than 30% HP and he just does it, like one clean rocket after the next. It was right in Planet Express's hands and they just clutched it way too hard and it slipped through their fingers. Good god, Medico, you disgusting machine. Should you be watching it? Kaidus, you should be watching Medico.
Oh yeah, I know Medico now. I'm learning these players one by one. They're stepping up. And Medico with another double kill. Takes the medic and someone along with him, so this guy's just going bananas at the moment. Top of his team's scoreboard, which isn't something you see from a pocket every day.
Okay, calm down. Mookie is being the crashing reality of Planet Express. You actually see Omlak hiding in this little hidey hole, but Tommy's kind of weaseling out the rest of the top5rocket. It's just poor little Omlak fighting up against Tommy, but he's just casually crossbowed him. Good guys, don't look at crossbows, it seems. Just turning his back on that kill, and now they're going to punish Mookie for all that hassle they gave him 30 seconds ago. And finally, his team does respawn and try to catch up, but they're just too late to the party, and Medico is back alive for his team. They're looking to push from this flank side, but they're on top of it, Planet Express. They are giving this up quite free though. There's absolutely no pressure, but you know they've got no roaming soldiers to kind of really force them.
Yeah, I mean they're playing the more passive style. When you have a sniper, especially in place of your roamer, it's making more sense just to you know, not throw any bodies away, because as soon as you're down a pick with a sniper as well, it's basically like being down 2 in a big dirty fight. So I mean they played it smart, especially considering they're getting Uber. But I say they're getting Uber, that Uber's gone. Medico's in, he's forcing the Uber, it's gone. So it's 100% advantage now. Oh no, they've popped as well.
Yeah, I think Medico wanted to actually go in with the Uber there, but he's just got slightly disconnected. You know, explosions just launch you across the map, and what are you going to do? But the flank is just completely picking up the slack for top 5 right now in that little drop situation. But I'm losing my words here, but Planet Express actually picking up said slack, and now it's actually cleaned up the combo players, and now Neo is fighting off against Medico. It's the good old-fashioned soldier 1v1 MG battle. Medico makes the first jump, but the air shot actually from Neo, I guess you could call it a mini air shot. He was kind of next to a wall possibly, but Opti, the party pooper, just comes along and kills Neo, maybe even actually killed himself there.
I think it's the old shoot them just before they jump, so they suddenly don't have the HP to jump suicide. But yeah, that fight got really messy. That really should have been, like, they should have at least won the fight, top 5 Rocket. I don't know if they would have actually got the point in the end. It probably would have been an instant recap, but I mean, that should have come out better for them than it did. By how much? I can't really say. But
well, on the bright side though, because Ombrak went down during all that chaos earlier, he's got his Uber advantage earlier. Oh, the pleasures of TF2. Die earlier, but get the better advantage in the end. And now they are looking to push this in without having to pop. They don't even have the Uber, so they just want to just get this second point for 3. And you can with this Sunshine second point. It's just so difficult to hold on to this point after they just get in from those initial doors.
Yeah, they're not holding the doors very well at Planet Express. They need a lot more spam on Cafe. That's the second time in a row they've gotten for free and taken second for free as a result of that. So the next time we see this situation, like, you know, once it's like, okay, that happened twice, now we're seeing a pan. If Planet Express let that happen a third time,
I think they're scared of that Uber, that's all. They're just like, oh, we know that Uber's going to come along. We don't know exactly when, but it's going to come. So Medico gets the full brunt of that Uber going in, but the Demo Man takes up the Kaizu, takes a lot of damage going in. He doesn't feel committed to go into this last point. He actually, they did get the force off of Scrooby, though, at the very least, and now the Heavy is keeping that a mass pressure from any other players, just like fumbling in from top 5 Rocket. They're rotating around, though. Medico is sniffing out this right-hand side door, but he just doesn't dare right now.
Yeah, top 5 Rocket. I said I'm actually really...
nice little shots from Neo. Sorry to cut you off there, Kaidus. It was just like the nice little collection of 3 rockets there coming out from Neo, the Soldier D5. Cleaning up Mookie there, but they get the 2 scouts of top 5 Rocket, so this again brings it back to a standstill. It's 1-1 so far, 50 minutes on the clock. I can feel the pressure from both teams. You can cut the tension with a knife.
Blitzko spawning on Spy. He should have... I say should have. He definitely should have got that backup in the last game. His team kind of let him down. If you remember the Snake Wall backup, that would have clinched the match for them, which they did win in the end anyway. But it would have been the, you know, the final nail in the coffin. He's getting a buff before he does the Spy play.
The Spy always needs a buff.
Oh, it does actually. Well, it takes a rocket walking in, so that buff's actually good.
They've seen him though. I mean, he was round the corner though. Maybe they didn't quite see him in the end, but we'll see. They've actually. I think he's using the Invis Watch, so he has to.
What's that?
Man, they even saw him!
Is he AFK? He even says what in chat. I feel like that was AFK, I don't know what's happening. EQ was not even moving there, not even looking around.
Well, they've gone in with the Uber. Mookie forced the Uber at him, and it's a very milked pop from Scrooby now, and I wonder if they'll follow up through the doors. They're just going to be happy that they... Oh, they don't take out the Demo Man! Kaidus gets out for 3! Oh, 1 HP Warrior. Sheepy even gets killed for trying to chase him. And now they're looking to push him from this left-hand side. IQ has respawned back, a little bit embarrassed. You know, deciding to stop eating at the keyboard and start playing at the game. And now they've got just manhandled this right-hand side. Neo's been pushed out, showing him who's the one with the... I'm not going to make that reference again. No, I'm going to stop myself. And now they're pushing in on this left-hand side. It's just going all the way for top 5 Rocket. Some pressure coming out from Medico. He has dropped very early there. The rest of the team have to pick up his slack, but it's just a poor little scout and a roaming soldier to do all this. They haven't got the sheer firepower to kill all of them. But I guess they've got the point pressure. Where's the rest of the team? There it is. They finally kill him off. Omrak uses his Uber, but his scout is out of there. He doesn't want to fight off against all those respawners. And now Sheepy and Tommy have found him, smelt him in the end. Opti has got the boner for that point again. He's going behind. He's in on Mookie. Mookie is sweating. Palms are sweaty. He's actually killed him in the end, and they actually have capped off the second point. I've used the word actually far too many times, but Valley Girl, I don't know.
I think that's alright actually.
Well, that was it was very close there. Opti is just getting far too greedy for this point, in my opinion. Blitzco does take out Mookie, giving them a bit of his taste of his own medicine. They are capping out this point though, no real pressure past the sniper. They've actually decided to ransack in Neo. He's got kind of a failed bomb and he's punished for it.
Random solo bomb and then back out.
Medico is just doing the job of Aroma and a pocket, forces the Uber, gets out and helps Kaiser to kind of kill off Neo. He's very low though, Medico. He's trying to get out. Aiku's too busy focusing off this door to chase off that soldier. He's actually, Medico's like, no, I'm Medico. I can do what I want.
He wants
an
arrow through the door. I know, he wants the Uber.
I want to go back in. He's used the Uber. He's gone right on top of the point. He's made the rest of Planet Express scatter. Mookie's inside like the lobby area. He's fighting off against Neo, who's kind of, they're both just missing rockets and just backing off. And they realise they have to deal with this Mookie before they can press forward. Opti does sacrifice himself, but he kills Mookie in the end. And Planet 5 good God, Planet Express has just decided to go back to the drawing board, it seems.
Yeah, top 5 looked like they wanted to were considering pushing that for a second, but I'm glad to see them turn around and throw that idea away, because they would have found themselves in a very disadvantaged situation if they'd actually committed to mid, with the respawners coming in so close to mid for Planet Express. They would have actually probably been in a, by the time the fight broke down, they would have been in a 6v4 or a 5v3 or something like that.
Oh, nonetheless, Uber's been used by Planet Express, but they've responded in kind. top5rocket, they actually killed Neo during that Uber. I guess he just kind of shot himself to death during his own Uber overextension, and now they're just trying to flood into this choke. Medico, joined by his soldier compadre Neo, has got some damage onto Aiku. He's just pulled Aiku left during all the fray. Scrooby gets a nice little crossbow, I guess, but it's not a team-wiping crossbow kill. Midpoint will go for top 5.
Yep, Neo the only one getting the forward spawn, I think. Oh no, sorry, Sheepy and Mookie get it. So there's going to be three forward respawners, so there's going to be a lot to kind of watch out for. I'm not sure. Did Ombrak spawn? No, actually Ombrak got kind of a late spawn as well, so I don't think they'll push. We're going to see it stalemate out. Ombrak and Scrooby both building at the same time. Their teams meeting them in spawn. How kind is that? Nonetheless, I think we're going to stalemate out. From a game that's been quite back and forward for a while now, I think we're actually going to see a legitimate stalemate. Actually, Blitzo, he doesn't like stalemates, he's going spy. Will he get a buff before he goes in though? That's what I want to know. Oh, he does get a big 175.
I don't know what is the thing with these buffs. I don't know. I always thought a buff was a big no-no on the spy, because it just shows off that you got some heals from the other team recently, and it all still kind of shimmers that slight little red. But we'll see what Blitzo can do. He has got in successfully, and he has avoided the novice mistake of, oh wait, no, he's gone invisible again. Is he going to uncloak right behind Screw? Okay, maybe he'll hear that though. Though it doesn't seem anybody's none the wiser.
Where
He got
are
the
your
backstab onto the
speakers,
medic.
my friend?
God, how
You
can you
should
not
really
hear
have heard
that?
that,
Yeah, how
you
can
should
you not hear
totally
that
heard
watch? It's like a nuke going off every time I hear it. It's like shh. Oh, there's a spy around. Okay, and now Opti gets killed. But I guess the backstab was a bad thing for top 5. They're just completely getting minced from every single doorway, apart from like where the combo is. And now even Ombrak gets killed in front of Medico. Medico, why did you do this to your poor little medic? And now it's to go back, but Blitzo is covering him. He's killed off 2 players on the point. Make that 3. No, don't make that 3. Mookie with the combo breaker, and now finish off Medico himself. And now Opti has respawned back, doing justice to that little death he made on his team earlier, even though he got the backstab. I mean, Blitzo got the backstab for him. I guess it all works out in the end.
Nothing tends to produce synergy in this game like a cataclysmic failure. Like if the med gets backstabbed, it's like everyone has the same idea at the same time. Oh shit, our med's down, we're screwed, let's all go in. It tends to work out more often than not. Like you saw, it worked out pretty early in that fight, but obviously just the way the fight trickled out in the end, the respawners coming in for top 5 rocket. We end up getting the point, but I mean it wasn't particularly convincing. Again, we're in another stalemate, just on a different point now. The last stalemate, which is probably one of the worst stalemates in TF2 at the moment. This last point is a real pain in the ass. Tommy going engineer, no mercy.
Man, even worse than Snake was.
At the moment it is. It's probably no worse than Snakewater was for the first kind of few seasons we played it.
Oh,
it's
right,
like, it's like anything, the more you get used to it, the more like an actual, like, a system of the fight gets established, and you know what you need to do to try and win that fight. But whereas at the moment it's like, let's go in, let's try and kill them. If that doesn't work, we all die and reset with another stalemate.
Well, both teams with very different holds, whilst top 5 want to hold this left-hand side. Oh wow, the double dong from IQ actually forces out Umbrak, and he's very low, so he's probably going to die immediately once these Ubers get exchanged. But all they decided to do was force out that Uber and immediately back up. But who cares? Umbrak still goes down. I guess my crystal ball is working after all, Kaidus, and I guess maybe they can make a push off of this Planet Express.
Yeah, they definitely should be able to. I mean, they get another frag. They definitely should start moving. They're taking over lobby. Their heals are in good order. They're kind of alone at the moment, but I mean, Tommy's looks like Tommy's
again going underneath for that last point.
I don't know why he's even trying that, because they know there's a gun. Like, they should learn by now that Tommy, when he builds a gun on last, he leaves it there until second is capped, as he's again doing. He's just chilling on last with the gun.
He gets emotionally attached, man.
But either way, like, it makes sense this time. I mean, before I kind of questioned it because they were always going to push and were never actually going to have a last hold in the first place. But yeah, this time it makes sense. You know, leave that security on last. So I'm not really sure. Opti should be learning by now that this back cap is probably not going to work.
I do want to give a big shout out to Tommy though, who's really stepped up his game from the last map, in my opinion. Okay, yeah, the Uber has been forced out of Planet Express, and they're just trying to like ransack towards this point. Maybe they could possibly get picked, but it's just way too large of a midpoint to kind of cover that distance and keep that Uber onto them. But they're not giving this up without a fight. They actually want to get a soldier in, but they just did it far too slowly, and now Neo is completely crushing them and punishing them for it. They take out both the soldiers. They've already got the back cap in the shape of Mookie behind. He's actually rocking the pain train, a hold. Homage, I guess. You don't really see that coming out of Rumors time soon. He actually forces out Ombrak's Uber as well, so could the situation get any worse? Maybe if Ombrak dies
Sheepy's
as well.
going for last.
But Sheepy's going for last. That is the worst situation that he could make. Oh no, he doesn't quite get it. Mookie with the big bomb though, all that point pressure allows for a decent amount. That looked like it did a lot more damage than it did.
Yeah, I think this second back cap attempt was probably a bit questionable. By the time he got there, he should really have had a call that no, there's a fully buffed demo with stickies on the point. Now they have a chance to push because those two players are going down, but I mean the Uber's actually up so soon for Scrooby. I'm not sure if they know this. In all this chaos, you tend to forget these little details.
And they're killing all the players before you can actually Uber them. They have actually killed off Kaizu though, and they're cleaning up Medico, so I guess a scout and a soldier is enough for a second defense. And now they're trying to just hold the line on this last point. So on the bright side though, they won't have that Uber to push last. Maybe it was just a last ditch attempt to kind of use those numbers to force out the Uber. Mookie putting his best foot forward, strong arm in the rest of the team. It's allowed Neo to jump in as well, but the safety net of Ombrak has come in and they've just cleaned up all those players. As soon as that safety net has came up, Scrooby's going back to last with his scout, just building that Uber back up. Aiku's probably set up a trap somewhere, but I can't find it for the life of me. He's still rocking that double dog machine, and they're just capping out that point slowly. I think they'll actually pick him off as well. They've picked him off, yep, so they don't have to worry about that any longer. Mookie's been caught on this flank hand side, no jumping shenanigans for him, and now you see Medico jumping in. He's taking a lot of damage, but he's backed up by his Neo buddy. They're all pretty low though, at least especially the soldiers. Will Kaiser kind of pick up the remaining of this health. They've just kind of minced the rest of Planet Express right now, and yeah, I think that's just a midpoint for top 5. That's just like a successful Uber in my opinion. Mookie is actually wasting so much time. Why do they care about a poor little Mookie up there? They could have just capped the point and just shrugged him off. What damage could he do to all those buff players?
It's been a really decent sequence of play from top5rocket, like going all the way back to that push off last where they forced the Uber, went back to their last. They ended up using the Uber, they got a bunch of frags and took second, and they take mid for free. So I mean, in the last kind of 2 to 3 minutes, they've won every engagement, or at least the end result has been really favourable for them. I think they're going to be feeling really good. If they can convert this push onto last now, they're going to be feeling great. Like, I think this could be a really, really important push.
Okay, well, they're deciding to push this right hand side. They've immediately popped in, okay. Well, I guess there's a sticky trap or something. Possibly, I have no idea. It was just a very early pop, and they have taken out the gun, I suppose. Tommy's kind of pressuring them from that door, and they're all very low, but they've managed to keep themselves alive. They even picked up the Demo Man kill, and the pop has finally popped out, but it's just poor Mookie, and he's only got that little rocket launcher to fight off with. Medico actually managed to survive the fight. I think they should go in.
Yeah, they need to go. They need to go now. They should be in ready. Get a goal on the point. Kalisto should even be focusing the point with his team.
Just get in there.
Oh my god! If they don't cap this out, it's going to be an absolute disgrace.
Oh dear lord!
Like,
that was.
There are so many different things they could have done there. They could have just thrown a body at the point and let Calypso spam the crap out of it, or if they really wanted to play it slow, Calypso can just sticky the spawn and they can play it slow that way instead. But
just hold that W key.
Yeah, there's just no synergy in that fight at all. Like, I don't know what they were thinking or what they were trying to do, but they should have capped that 99 times out of 99. Really, they should have taken that without a doubt.
They dropped, I think, the soldier, but the scouts are doing the fight by themselves, and they've even managed to kill them all before they've finished off that second point. I guess with the momentum, they'll just fight off, and here you go, here's the point pressure. And Mookie, they've realised now it's just a crappy little soldier. He's not going to do anything.
Just go on the point! What are you doing?
Good God! They had it! They were there, the scouts were on top of it! What
Can
was
it so? Why won't he go on the point? It's 2 runs in a row, he just stands there looking at the point. If your team won't do it, just do it yourself. Force the action. I can't believe it. Can't believe it, TurboTabs.
Well, Planet Express have learned from their mistakes from top 5's mistakes and just got on to the second point. And look at that, they've just capped it. They're back into the game now, and they're trying to push him from that choke. Neo's gone in first. He's taking a lot of damage for it, but a big bomb in from Neo, the French Neo. But the Uber does pop out for Umbra, kind of just taking advantage of the fact that Scooby's gone down. It's like a free Uber in a sense, and Medico makes use of that Uber, takes out Mookie. No bombing soldier for Umbra to worry about, but he does have to worry about this scout, and it is a sheepy scout as well. It's a very scary scout to face up against. He's managed to stay himself alive. Tommy's even pretty healthy, but they just kind of whiz around and went, yeah, okay, let's go back to second. No, this is lame.
Oh my god, my brain is melting. What's going on?
This is Prem, Kaidus. I want you to keep in mind.
I've lost track of this game at the moment. I kind of had a mini meltdown after this last attempt to push last.
I guess it really shows the difference between these like high teams and the top Prem teams. Just these little sort of plays or communications or what they need to do. Well, on the bright side of things, Opti's got behind. He's taken out Tommy, and they're slowly pushing forward. They're kind of the slowest push I've ever seen, and you look like for the majority that Planet Express were winning, and suddenly they just brought down to huge amounts of low health. It's just again that second point working against them. Blitzer's got in, he's got an Uber on top of him, another Uber Cantu comes out. Aiku's right on top of the point, and he's just deciding to shoot out at all the top 5 teams, but they're deciding to stay. And they are doing a very good job.
They go on the point. 6v3. It was like the third 6v3 we've seen in about 5 minutes, and this time they go on the point. For some reason, when you stand on point, that little bar at the bottom of your screen moves, it slowly fills up with red. And then
slow down, Kaidus. I need to write this down.
Nonetheless, top 5 Rocket are deservedly 1 round ahead. They've definitely been playing better this game. Wait. The server crashed. There's 1 minute 30 left.
Or is it crashed, or maybe they've just ended the server?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Well,
we don't know who wins, but that might have been the deciding round, and we completely underhyped it. That deserves a lot more hype, because I didn't realize how little time was left.
I was going to point out how much time was left at the end of the sentence, but I guess the server cut me off. So I guess, for those who don't know what's happening, we do work on a 90-second delay system. And there's only 90 seconds or so left on the clock. So it just kind of makes you think at 2-1, 90 seconds, and then it suddenly cuts off. Maybe that team who got 2 points probably won. So congratulations, top 5 Rocket.
Yeah, I'm getting confirmation from Sheepy that they lost. So it's a 2-0 victory for top 5 Rocket, and deservedly so. I mean, I was giving them some stick toward the end of that game, but it's only because they deserved to win that that round, basically, to make it 2-1. They should have made it 2-1 about 5 minutes earlier than they did. They were playing pretty well, other than the last pushes, so I think a deserved win for them.
Those last pushes.
Yeah, I'm being told by Sheepy that we kind of missed quite an intense last minute and a half, though. Apparently, Planet Express capped second, wiped them and managed to cap second, but then couldn't go to last in time before the time ran out, or something like that. Either way, blame the Frenchies. Apparently, they shut the server down. But I guess they did just win a match, so I can forgive them.
I guess they just wanted to cut things short and go straight to the after party. Mic dropped by the Frenchies, so top 5 Rocket confirmed to be moving into the next round, I guess, against Anime tomorrow. So that'll be an interesting match to watch. The People's Champion has won, and they've not let them down after all the grief they've given to the admins. Let's look at a mathematical breakdown of that last game, shall we?
Yeah, Medico was just the hero again, basically. I mean, there was a lot of credit to Opti on the first map. This time, didn't really see as much from Opti. DPM kind of low. Got a decent amount of frags, but not the greatest KD. But like, I mean, Medico, just the biggest plays.
Well, it was. I just feel so hyped. I'm not going to get to sleep tonight just watching that. It was just exactly the Rockets he needed to be placed. I think you could probably look at close into the stats of things. I bet it was almost down to the wire when it came to like health to rocket damage ratio. But let's see, what other things can I really digest from this point? I guess Medico got 12 air shots during that game. That's like tech levels.
It's twice as many as anyone else.
Combined.
Jesus. It's actually, yep, I think, is that...
Yeah, like, if you add them all to... Oh, wait, no, it's just maybe...
There's like 2 less than the rest of the server combined, basically.
Yeah.
There's another way to put it.
So, is Medico like the upcoming talent for the season, possibly?
I'm not sure. I mean, you have to kind of see him play against higher opposition, I suppose. But I mean, definitely impressed tonight. I mean, I didn't notice him as much on the first map, but this second map was heroic. Like, there was some game-saving moments. I mean, that game would have gone 2-1 to Planet Express long ago. Long before the end if it wasn't for Medico. Like, really heroic. It was last save, like 2v1 off the back of a double air shot on last that maybe helped them hold it in the first place.
If you're Planet Express now, you must feel terrible because you just had it. It was right there, and it's just all these little tiny things just came down towards that last little save. They might just look back at the demo and just see like IQ took some fall damage, and that was the difference that would have been made to winning that and possibly winning the entire series. Okay.
Yeah, our cameraman's actually giving some very nice statistical insight at the moment. He's pointing out that even though they healed pretty much an identical amount, there was 2 additional charges for Ombrak coming out. And looking at the other aspects of the stats, average time before using was almost double for Scrooby as it was for Ombrak. So, I mean, there can be some situations that cause that to happen, like there's no one's fault, but I mean, a consistent average of that, 41 for 19 before using, there's some really convincing stats in Ombrak's favor, like something about the team plays just going a lot more fluid, like they're able to work on their advantages faster. Not entirely sure, but it's an interesting stat, I have to say.
I think it's just what happens if the team that's played longer together just know each other better. That synergy seems to work a lot better if it rolls through the synergy. It works in the communications and I guess allows everyone to really play out on their fifth gears, whilst sure, some of these players over on Planet Express have shown some really convincing play in the past on maybe some other teams, but they're not just quite the team of top5rocket.
Or maybe they're just getting forced really easily. Could be that as well.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, that. Possibly. I don't know, there were some early pops out of Ombrak as well, I thought, into most of these pushes.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, he's using a lot. I don't know. This could mean one of 2 things. It could mean they're playing a lot more efficiently and using their advantages fast, or it could mean they're beefing it and getting forced all the time.
There was some times, I think it might have been Snakewater, where one medic stayed alive. I think it was Scrooby. He stayed alive, after Ombrak, but after 10-20 seconds or so, Ombrak actually got the advantage of the Uber charge. I don't know how he got that. I was picturing around. I was how did he get this Uber charge back quicker than Scrooby can? And he stayed alive. But I don't know. Maybe a great mystery left to be seen back on demo replay.
Yep, indeed.
Alright, well, I've heard enough. I think we should close this out. I need to calm down, maybe get a glass of water.
Sounds solid to me.
Alright, well, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. top5rocket will be moving on against Animate into the next round of the... I'm losing my words now. Why is it? The elimination qualifier. There you go, yeah. So this is... You've just watched the ETF2L Season 22, powered by Saloon.tf. This was Top 5 versus Planet Express. I'd like to thank Kaidus for joining me on the very last seconds to help me out on this cast. It would have been a dire solo cast. And, of course, a big shout-out to DavidTheWin for being that solid rock of production, as always. Thanks for tuning in. If you can hit us up on Twitter, you can just follow us at teamfortress.tv. If you just caught us right now and you've just missed the action, don't worry. You'll find the VOD over on our YouTube. Just just YouTube, Team Fortress TV, you'll find us. And if you just want any more TF2 competitive action, just find us over on www.teamfortress.tv. I've been TurboTabs. Again, with me is Kaidus, DavidTheWin on production. Thanks for joining us. See you